Just a reminder, today's conference is being recorded.
Yes, hello to this new episode of the XStepCafe. After a little bit longer break now, I welcome you, all of you. Maybe we can try to find out who's there here in the room, because I didn't really catch all of you. Maybe a short round, because there are some new ones there. Maybe could you speak up? Who's new in the XStepCafe here today? I think there's I don't know, Claudia.
Yeah, I can start. My name is Claudia Offermann. I'm working for the Logistics Zentrum Schwabe in Germany. I'm an in-house consultant and working with the PPI module and XStep since short time.
Okay, cool. So, you're a colleague of Andreas Mintz, Pascal Mintz.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Somebody else who's new? I think there were some names which I don't recognize. No? Okay. I did not prepare a lot today, as the last times as well. I've got a lot to do with my new topic. But what I'd like to show also is a little bit with a new topic. Just wanted to show you a little bit some pictures of the Hanover Fair, because I was there now for 5 days and presented plant connectivity there, just as an entry maybe, and then we'll continue with questions and answers maybe. So it's very short. So that was our booth. We didn't have an SAP booth at the Hanover Fair. We were just being invited by the OPC Foundation. So in case you don't know, OPC Foundation is sort of the organizer or author of the OPC standard, which is very useful, and which we also use in the PI sheet area with the ODA connector. And yeah, and there we've got a small a booth there here with also a nice demo, and maybe a little bit closer look up here. So we've worked with a PLC vendor, Beckhoff, together to create that demo. Very cool demo with some moving parts here with RFID sensors. We simulated a coating process here. We've got a touch panel here to control the process here, and the PLC there, and an OPC UA server. So that's a new technology also for OPC, unified architecture. And Pico plant connectivity also offers OPC UA, so we connected Pico there, and we've shown some SAP ME showcase here to demonstrate how to integrate the shop floor to the top floor. Here's my colleague Igor Becker from the team as well. So that was our demo we did here. So you could see here the PLC layer that was all here below, and on that terminal here, so that was a PC, we've installed Pico, so that was communicating inside over the network here via OPC UA, and then we had to run a Windows terminal here where we showed ERP and ME integration with all this scenario here. Was well perceived. Maybe some details on what we showed there. So on the PLC level, there were different states we captured. So reading of the first RFID, then we sent a start operation message there to ME, and then several other states that were recognized. Also a state for bad qualities every now and then to post some kind of non-conformance message here of ME, and the operation later on. So that was a nice process we could show. Also, we showed resource status changes, like when you press the safety button here, the resource was immediately also set in ME to another status. So that was a nice experience for showcase here. Yeah. Any questions on that? I did present on Pico once before, so maybe there's somebody who's curious about it, but if not, we can just continue with the usual stuff.
Arnie, just a quick question. Are companies implementing this, or are you just still developing this?
Yes, actually, we have in a German customer in the wind energy area where they had an ME project ongoing, and first they wanted to go with OPC DA. So of course they wanted to use Pico as well to integrate SAP ME. Then we demonstrated how easy it is to set up the OPC UA connectivity, because there you don't have to worry about DCOM settings, because that's all going via secure web services and these kind of things. So it's very easy and safe to set up. So, and they're quite happy with that approach. And they are, of course, they're using these messages to connect to ME. Yes.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
That's very good.
Okay. So, any other question on that? Okay. Then let's close this up. The other thing I wanted to point out, I just yesterday evening I posted posting here with a presentation. Every now and then I showed some of my presentations, and I realized that I didn't put this presentation on my blog, so I did this now. It's a presentation. I can just bring it up here maybe. Hopefully that works here in this environment. No PDF. There it is. So that's one of my usual presentations I did do. Maybe you know these slides already, so this is what you find there. Some detailed slides on the XSteps here as well. Features and functions, PI sheet, XStep process here. That's maybe a nice slide here for a reference purpose. So there you see what is on the release history, and EHP5 is I don't know if it's already in finished ramp up, but here you see some enhancements also for cross-plant repository and language dependencies. That's coming up here, and then I've got also some details on OPC stuff here. Quite old slides, I must say, but also some details on our enhancements in the different EHPs. There are presentations also on my blog on the ASAC presentations. I think they also cover it here and there, but it's there on a nice comprehensive view here. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to point this out. And now I'd like to expect answer questions. Then we can discuss and chat a little bit on those.
Arnie, this is Sue. I have a question for the group, actually.
Yeah.
One of our issues that we've come up with recently is we have XSteps deployed, just for those who don't know. We have XSteps deployed in over 600 or 800 recipes, for 800 recipes. And, of course, when you create the process order, it's possible for the planner to change the requirement quantity of the materials within the process order, which for us here at IDEX is considered a recipe change and is not allowed. So we're putting in place some things to prevent that from happening, but I'm wondering from a practice standpoint what other folks have put in place to maintain the integrity of the recipe, the actual building recipe for the product that you're making, through to the PI sheet, so that changes do not get made to that formula, to that recipe, in that whole process of creating the order, releasing the order, the things you can do to the recipe, to the order, to the operation steps, to the materials. So what have folks put in place in order to prevent changes from occurring to the actual formula or the recipe?
Are you using the change management and approval process for recipes?
We are not up to this point, and that was because last year they had to deploy 600 or 700 recipes, and we have a change control process outside of SAP, and so we didn't want to have that be cumbersome for them to create these recipes as quickly as they were going when they already have documentation that they have to maintain outside of SAP in a change control system. So we have not put that in, and I've researched that, but I was wondering if folks have done anything other than that.
Yeah, maybe.
Or even if anybody's implemented that change control on recipes, how did that work for them, and did it become cumbersome, or did it give them the control that they needed?
Yeah, good question. Maybe somebody on the line can answer it or give comments on that. No?
This is Peter speaking. One of the problems in our recipes is the costing view. Whenever you want to change any costs depending on a phase or on a operation, if you have the process of engineering change management, you have to create a change document. So what is available in a other company which is belonging to Abbott, they have their own program where you do have access to only to the costing view without going through the ECM. But it's a development.
And then other than that, they don't make any changes? They only change costing data?
Yeah, they do not. This company doesn't apply PI sheets.
Okay.
So they don't have the problem with XSteps or with the old PI sheets. And, okay, that's how they are working.
Right,
but,
yeah.
The only chance I see so far is by additional development. If you are going through the usual step, how to change a recipe, you have to go either through the ECM, through the whole change process, and I agree if you, especially in costing, if they are changing lots of costs, it's a lot of work to go all the way through the ECM.
Excuse me?
Yeah?
This is Andreas. Just for my clarification, what is the issue? Is the issue that somebody is changing the process order and the components in the process order after the release, or is the issue that somebody is changing in the process order something which is not affecting then the so far or the already created PI sheet? What is the issue really?
The issue is that they're able to make a change either before they release it or after they release it, so it changes the recipe, the formula. So if they're in the order, they can change it either before they release.
So what do they change?
Right, so the recipe might call for 1,000 liters, and if they change it to 1,200 liters in the order, then now they've changed the formula, and they shouldn't have done that.
So what we are doing is we have, on the one hand side, we are creating our master data objects like the BOM and the master recipe using engineering change number. On the other hand side, we have the audit trail for the process orders in place. So at least you can track and trace all the changes made. However, if somebody is rereading the master data or changing some component quantities or whatever after release, depending on the business or the business unit where they are running a certain process order, you might have also in addition SOP in place, which says, okay, if somebody is rereading master data, you have to make sure that, I don't know, that you just create new control recipes or things like that.
But we are talking about different things. I was talking about the master recipe. You are talking about the process order.
Yeah, this is exactly the point. But what are we really, or what is really the issue behind?
Okay.
Just for my clarification, if I don't know.
Yep. And when you say that you implemented process order logging, so you went through the OSS note to turn on change logging in the process order? Because that's not something that I found an OSS note for that, and the note said there's many different things that you can log. You have to decide. So you went through that whole process and decided what you wanted to log. Is that correct? Because currently statuses are logged, which is normal. You log the status changes, but not all the change activities in the order are standard logging.
It's true. You can decide what activity or which trigger should be logged, but I guess Arne can explain it much more in detail how that works.
Yeah, I try. I'm just about to at least create an example so that we all on the same page here. So let me check just briefly.
And of course, this isn't really an XStep question. It's more of a process question, right?
Sure,
because XSteps just reflect what you have in your order and in your recipe. So
yeah. So I'm releasing that now here, and check. Okay. So I can change something in the phases. I can change here something, and I can of course change this guy here. Okay. I'm not sure why I cannot maybe do something simple here. Generate. What is this? Oops. Strange. Reset this. Okay, create process instruction and something simple. Output character string. Okay. That should do it. Okay. So it all depends on the stages what can be done or what cannot be done. But in this case, it's you could change. That's true. You could change something here. You already have created a control recipe, and that would of course not be reflected in the control recipe. And of course, you cannot create a new control recipe via these functions here. You can create an additional control recipe with XSteps. I've showed this before, but you cannot prevent this happening. Yeah, that's true. And also, if you for example change the dates, and you might have some dates in your PI sheet evaluated, that will also not be reflected. Yeah. What could be done, I don't know, is to have some custom consistency check in the PI sheet that checks whether that order has been changed after the creation of that control recipe. So to check whether this is still a consistent state. But apart from that, it's different when you have an order with engineering change management in place, with approval process in place. Then you can change much less. I think then please help me out there. Who's doing that? I think it's only date changes that's possible then anymore. Correct?
We are using the EVN only for the BOM and for the master recipe, as I said.
Mm-hmm.
For the process order, we only have that, or only we have that audit trail in place, that audit trail functionality.
You don't use the approved recipes?
No.
Okay.
We have the, let's say, the light version with just the engineering change number, which is good enough for us. Otherwise, we detected that we would limit ourselves too much by going through that entire process. So it's just the easy end, and as I said, the audit trail for the process order. However, I mean, at the end, the question is if you can fully control it, or even if you develop something here, at least you have to make sure in case that you, let's say, print some additional shop floor papers or whatever. I don't know if this is really the case if you go with XSteps or with PI sheets. But just as an example, if you would print shop floor papers at latest, at that point in time, you have to make sure that you get back the so far printed shop floor papers back from the shop floor to make sure that you have only one valid version out. So, and latest then you come to the point where we said in our cases, in our business, that we then have to have a standard operation procedure in place to control this.
Maybe also with user status, you could prevent doing certain things, but there I'm not very my knowledge is not very good. So in this example I have here, there we have an approved recipe, but no, the recipe is not approved. That's why I get this message here. So in this case, I can do the manual approval, but once I do this, there will be some compiling going on now because I didn't do it before. Sorry about that. Then you can see through how things got locked there.
Yes, and we looked at the individual approval to see if that would help. And of course, then we wanted to only let certain people do individual approval, and then creating an authorization profile around a system status is difficult because then you need a user status that is triggered on the system status. So that got quite complicated. So our solution is really we're going to create some custom code and put it in the user exit for saving to check the data. But I was just wondering if others have had this issue and have come up with something ingenious.
Obviously not today. Maybe
not today.
Not today. Maybe you could post it on our message blog there.
Yeah. And we did look at the logging of changes, which would be helpful. We're going to try
That's the audit trail.
The audit trail, right. If we need to, we may have to go to that, but we're trying to take a kinder, gentler approach at this point to just make one change, which is that user exit. But if we have further issues, we'll have to go that way, I think.
Yeah. So that should be the standard way. Let's just briefly check here how this will look like now.
I do have a question for the individual who's talking about the approvals. When you open the order, if you have you said you have the BOM and the recipe in change control, in change management? Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you come into the order, is your material tab, are your requirements locked down when you have that?
No, we are following the philosophy. Once somebody has the authorization for the Core 2 transaction to change in process order, then he or she can see everything or change everything. We just control that really via the authorizations to say, okay, who in general has the need to create or change in process order. But if once somebody has the Core 2 transaction, then we usually allow to do everything in there. But as I said, in addition to that, we really have that audit trail, plus we have some really SOPs in place which control that.
Okay. Because right here, Arnie, if you went up to process order, functions, and you can actually do the individual approval, then the materials get locked down, except for the batch assignment.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if it would come in that way if you had change control turned on. Whether when you created those are locked.
Functionality. It's not the engineering change management itself, I think.
Okay.
Not 100% positive about that, but
and that was a question I had. I couldn't find that in documentation, or I didn't come across it. to see what external activity would cause the same result. Because right here, if you went and did an individual approval, the first 5 columns there would be grayed out.
Which one? In material?
So if you go to process order up above in your process order right there, functions, approval, third from the bottom. Okay, so you have them on right now, and maybe it's just the resolution on the screen here. So
yeah,
you
already
have an
approval.
individual approval
I
set
already,
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And so in the materials tab, were those columns grayed out? I couldn't quite tell with your
yes,
colors.
They were grayed out, yeah.
Okay.
However,
so,
what I just tried out is you can change the overall quantity then, and of course I created the control recipes already and sent them, so that's of course then an issue.
And that's another issue we have, but we've instructed them not to do that. But you know, there's just so much that you can ask folks to do.
Yes. I know that's a sort of a gap which we cannot really overcome, because that's the principle of the control recipes. You gather all the data, and once you release it, and then you send it, and usually you forget about all the data. Yeah, so there should be. Because
now you're executing, right?
Yeah, now it should be executing, not planning anymore. Right?
Okay, exactly. Okay, well that was helpful. And if anybody thinks of anything or has another solution, it'd be nice to know.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't do any more.
No, that's okay. At least you went through the process, and it helps to discuss it with folks just to see if you have researched everything that you possibly could. Because I spent quite a bit of time researching. So.
Yeah. I can tell you that there's nothing more really, and not that I'm aware of that you can do.
Okay.
Maybe with the user status you can do something more, but as I said, I didn't do the user status a lot, but I know that many customers use these user status a lot and do things with it and prevent things doing. So maybe that's an approach for you. Yeah,
it just seemed that it was difficult. Not that it was difficult to create the user status. It was just how do you incorporate that in the normal process so that it would become effective. It seemed like just an extra step, nothing that really
it's
linked
somehow
to.
Yeah, you have to set up things, and there's some workflows you can attach to them, I think.
Right.
So that's what you can do there.
Yeah.
Anybody on the phone has experience with the user status setup?
Yeah, some experience, but again, you maintain it in a process order header, right? You change the user status in the process order header. So that would mean, again, we have somebody who is allowed to execute the core 2. So if you are there, independent of the user status or not, you can change the header quantity, you can delete components, you can do what you want usually. At least under normal conditions, let's say. But the control recipes are already generated, so there will be no change. Yeah, that's additionally. That's what I'm saying. At a certain point in time, you just have to say, okay, now we have to find another way to control that.
What I was thinking is maybe there is a possibility to add a user status that says, okay, now I'm finished, and then that you say, okay, I cannot create the control recipe once before that status is set, and if that user status also sort of prevents any changes to happen, maybe I'm not sure whether it's possible, but that could be a way to do.
But let's do the easiest example. Even rereading master data in the process order brings it back into created status. So at that point, you need to find a solution how to deal with that, how you control that. Because at that point, especially if you have some automatic systems or some interfaces attached, all the data is gone through meanwhile.
But now, once you've created the control recipe, reading of the master data is not possible anymore.
That's true. Yeah, in that case, it's true.
And our situation was really that we want people in there to assign batches, because at the time the order is created, they may not have had yielded all of their batches at that point. They may not know which batch they want to use. So they're on that materials tab, and what happened was somebody changed the wrong column. They changed the batch number, but they also made some change to the number, the quantity. And so
if it's
we
just
made a bulk.
A different batch that they enter, of course, and if you have had that batch also in the control recipe, then you have again an inconsistency there. Yeah.
Right. We don't happen to pass our batches into the control recipe when they go to exercise that. When they go to do the activity in that phase, they push a button, and at that point, it brings in the batches that have been assigned. So we wait till the very last minute to bring in the material and the batch. But, however, if they've changed the quantity and they go to click that button and it brings in the wrong quantity because our function module looks at the reservations, now they've brought in the wrong quantity and they make the solution with the wrong quantity. So if you wait till the last minute, you get the best information. But if you wait till the last minute, you might get changed information, which might be the worst information. So there's no good time. It seems that timing is not on our side in either case.
Yeah, not that easy. Yeah, I know.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So I mean, it does take business discipline and good business processes, but it's good to see if others have come across the same issue and have dealt with it.
Okay.
That was my question.
Okay, thanks a lot. Very good question. Any other question?
Yeah, I have one question. It's Claudia speaking. We use in our master recipes the secondary resource for the personnel, and on this view you can add the times and the number of workers. And my question is, how can I get with XStep these informations out of the master recipe and put them into my PI sheet?
Okay, so could you repeat the first part? Sorry, I was taking down notes of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We use for our master recipes we use the secondary resource for the personnel.
Okay, secondary resource. Okay.
And there you can put in the times and the number of workers you want to have. And I want to know how I can get this information with XStep out of the master recipe and put it then into my PI sheet.
I'm not sure whether there's a something there. Did you already check the usual the generation scopes, whether you find something there?
Yeah, Pascal Münz and I tried.
Okay, let me just briefly check and like that. Create XStep generation. That is. Yeah, here are the activities for secondary resources. Is that what you mean, or? Can you see this?
Yeah. One moment.
And also there's here something for all secondary resources. I didn't use the secondary resources in my time, so I'm not so familiar with those. Did you try those out?
Yeah, we tried.
Okay. Let me just briefly bring up a new order here and try to build this up.
If there's something wrong, I don't know.
Okay, let's check. So what do we have here? Where are those secondary resources? Is that anything or?
Yeah. If you enter there, the secondary resource, and go.
Numeric, okay, 10, and control key. Something like PP maybe.
If you go down, yeah. I think the general data. That's the part. Yeah.
Mhm. So here you maintain some values.
Yeah, but first of all, you have to assign a resource, otherwise you do not have the standard values open.
Oh yeah, okay.
Here,
So
here.
let me just try take a resource. Which one do I take here? Maybe one of those here. Okay.
Standard value, yes.
Ah, okay. Good. 10, 20. Okay, like that?
Yeah.
Mhm. And
Safe.
thank you. Let's do that first. That's a good idea. Always good idea to save. Okay, now we have in our first phase here we've got a secondary resource. Maybe we add another one to have a little bit more. Okay. 5, 7. Okay. Good. Now let's try whether we can do something here with these generation scopes. Remove all these here. Create XStep. And do a generation for this. And what I can do here is I can just execute the generation to see whether that's happening something. Okay. No valid resource found. Maybe I should assign this to the context here. Okay. Looks better. Okay. So it creates two objects. So my assumption would be that those are the ones. Let me just go a little bit further. Let's check parameter R1.
Why not easily taking the one from the standard XStep library? Just take the standard one for the confirmation and put a generation scope for the secondary resources, and that's it.
Okay. Good. Let's try this. Okay. I hope I have this one here. So create success reference library.
Input and output of data.
Thank you. And that one?
There should be one for real confirmations to processor.
Maybe it's for with messages here. Okay.
Yeah, here confirm phase activity.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, it's true.
I don't know how fast. Which one would be faster? Which procedure? But let's go that way. Okay. I have to release those first. That's library. Okay. Messages. That one here.
Yep. For instance, that one.
Release that one here. Okay. Have a look. I'll just remove the documentation stuff here. And yeah, okay, let's try that out. Library. Okay. And generation for all secondary resources. Remove that one here. Do a save before. Okay. Okay, let's do the generation. Okay. Now let's check. What is this here? Activities. I don't know what they have here in terms of parameters. No, nothing. So it's all here, probably. Okay, 10. That sounds good. 10. 200. No, hold on. 5, 7. That's a variable. We've got 10 pieces, so that's yeah. Okay.
That's coming from the resource.
Yeah,
there's a key in.
I have one fixed activity and one variable activity. So that the first one was a fixed activity where I entered 10. Yes, and that one here was the variable one, and I had a quantity of 10 here. So that's 20 multiplied with 10, which gives 200. So I think this should be okay. Is that what would help you?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah?
Back with hours again where it didn't work.
Okay, so.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, step generation.
Hi, Arne.
For, hold on, Raghu. Let's just take down some notes. Secondaries. Okay. Yes, Raghu.
Yeah, I have a question.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Okay.
You're very soft.
Hello? That's okay?
No, the quality is not very good.
Hello?
Try and ask.
The first question is, do we have any place we can do the auto completion of controls here based on the order status? If the order status is fully delivered, then can we automate the completion of control recipe based on the order status?
You're referring on your question on the topic discussion. I've read that, and I don't think so. No, you really need to have that process message, PI CRST, to complete control recipes. So and those are then also mandatory to before you can really complete an order. So that's really essential.
Okay, so the order status is delivered. Can we do the? Is there any the auto generation of process message for CRST once the order status has been delivered? Is it possible through data point or something? I don't.
That probably via some kind of custom programming where you create a workflow. I don't know. Sue, did you propose that procedure? I think you were.
Yes,
answering that.
Yeah, we have a workflow that gets generated based on the order being completed. When the PI sheets are both set to complete and the status of the order goes to a status that indicates it's complete. I can't remember the exact status. Then we kick off a workflow that does activities. So I was thinking if you had a workflow that we kick off based on a particular order status, then you could have that workflow generate, have it call a program that creates the CRST or generates the CRST.
Okay,
PI
that's
CRST.
That's through the custom program, right?
Right. I think you would need, because the transaction to create the message, unless you had something to automate that transaction, you'd need a program. You'd need a small function module to create the message, I think. Right, Arnie? I don't think there's any way to create that.
Yeah. But again, the question is, who is posting the goods issue? Who is doing that? Is that coming from an MES system or is it done via a PI sheet?
Yeah,
Right.
Raghu has posted here that they have 3 control recipes. 2 is for a PI sheet, and 1 is for an MES. And that MES, and that was also my question to you, Raghu. I mean, normally an MES also sends back messages like for consumption or confirmation. So then also that final statement, okay, I'm finished now, should also be possible via the MES. So I don't understand really why that's not possible.
And especially in the cases where you have the PI sheets, is quite easy.
Yeah,
at this moment
PI sheet. This is not an issue for the PI sheet because, of course, when you complete the PI sheet, then this message is created.
Exactly, and this is just the right mouse click.
Yeah, exactly. But we're talking here about that third control recipe, which is is an external control recipe, it's going to an MES system. Yeah, and
so we don't have anything through data point, right? Using data point triggering the message, it's not possible, right? This is a different.
Yeah. So Raghu, usually that really should be done via the MES, the external system that this message is created. So that's really the way it should be. Yeah. If for one reason or the other you cannot do that, but you can by some means this MES system updates some other stages of the order to indicate that this is finished now, then probably you can do some internal magic with custom coding to do that. Yeah.
According to best practice, the control recipe user, whether the MES or SCADA system, they have to decide the final goods issue or goods receipt, right? That is, they have to decide.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. So if there is a problem in, they can figure out the change of recipes in the MES system, the SCADA system. So when they finish it on the Friday, then the change is going to be next Monday. So that period is a long period. That time we know the goods issues done, or will they have some more changes? That is right now. So they currently do the manual 307 by confirming.
I can hardly understand you right now. So.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
One more. We have implemented OSS pilot node for the cross-plant repository. I'm just testing that in the sandbox. And the issue is when I want to define the leading plant, I need to run the program through the SE38 to set the leading plant. It's the option is not coming under the menu. So it's even the
yes, I think it's a report, isn't it? Not quite sure about that, but it should all be written down in the note.
In the I referred in the help, SAP help. It says process coordination, execution step, and then define the reference class plant is in the menu path is there, but after implementing the nodes, this menu path is not there. But it is working fine, but I need to run the program and set the leading plant and run the program, go to the cross repository.
Yeah. And you usually you only set this once, and then you're done. You have one leading plant, and that's it.
Yeah, that is possible. But for the reference cross plant repository, also I need to go through the program, run the program, and go to the repository. Is not available in the menu path. I just created a basis message for that.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm just wondering if anybody got the same kind of issue.
Well, we installed it's a manual from Switzerland. We have installed also the pilot note in our sandbox, and yeah, you access the repository through the reports through SE38, not through the menu path. That's okay for us.
Yeah, and you can also create a transaction out of it if you want.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah.
So when you implement the nodes, the transaction path should be available in the menu, right?
No,
not necessarily.
probably.
No. I mean that node is really, as is. Yeah. So what you can do, you can create a new transaction, and what the users then also can do, they can go to the favorites and add a new entry there based on a transaction, and then they just enter that new custom transaction, and then they have it in the menu.
Okay. So for standard, there is no menu path available, right?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay. So, any quick question before we?
Yeah, I had one. We're currently working with a command with an event on table line adding, and we encounter some problems. The function that we call is working well, but when we first enter on the PI sheet and add line, the function call is not called at all. The event is not triggered. But when we save the PI sheet, come back again, it's working fine.
Yeah, sounds to me like an issue for OSS. If that is.
Because we looked at OSS days before, but
create a message
on
that, then the support should handle it. Okay. So
just one short question. You provided new standard function modules for PI sheets in one of your, I think it's in number 24, in the CMX tools function module. And there is one which says generation of an XStep tree that contains the selected SXS module. I would be really, let's say, interested to have such an example, because it's it didn't work when I tested it, but I think I tested it completely wrong.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure what Uwe, so my colleague Uwe, did that and what he documented in the note, but I can bring you in contact with him to.
That's great. Just to see an example, because it would be really very helpful and very flexible if you.
Or maybe I can do it next time as well as a follow-up.
Because it could give a lot of flexibility if you have.
Okay. No. I mean that's what we demonstrated in one of the ASAC sessions. Sue, you were there as well, I think, where we clicked on a button and that created a whole new XStep tree in the order and also released it already, and then we had a new PI sheet quite instantly. So
that would be a lot of very good marketing for the XStep product.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for marketing.
Okay.
We did this development, but through quality notifications. It's adding a new recipe and new trees and generate everything.
With that edition, with that function module?
No. We build it our own.
Ah, okay. So which company are you from? I didn't get it first time.
SIGPA in Switzerland.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Right. Okay, then I think we finish up for today. And let me check here. I think next time will not be usual time as well as it is this time, because I will go for a vacation. So I think I will skip the complete May. So I plan to do the next session in June. So please be prepared for that already, so that you don't dial in and don't hear anything. Okay.
Okay.
Then have a nice week, and talk to you next time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Thanks. Bye.